Yo, what is going on? Alright, let's get into it here. I'm gonna get into some crazy TikToks. Got some good shit here I found. Let's get this going. Start with this one here. Alright.
Which is the thin crust of
Alright,
the
here we go.
waxing
Let me get
moon
this
on the
started for
evening
you
of the...
guys.
Listen up. I have something interesting for y'all today. So the Feast of Trumpets, or Rosh Hashanah, is on September the 22nd through September the 24th this year. And we all know that it starts at the sliver of the new moon. But there's something really strange about all this. We know that the Feast of Trumpets, or Rosh Hashanah, starts at the sliver of the new moon. But get this, it will actually occur on September the 21st. And then following that event, you will begin to see the new moon sliver, which is the thin crescent of the waxing moon, on the evening of the following day, September the 22nd. But I find it odd that it's going to start on the 21st, because we know on the 21st of September is the International Day of Peace. Not only that, but there will be a partial solar eclipse that day as well. Not only that, but the days that they say the Feast of Trumpets is going to be, the United Nations will be holding a General Assembly and a two-state solution, which will likely lead to a treaty. It is also the 80th United Nations General Assembly, and we know that Moses was 80 at the first Exodus. Not only that, but a couple of weeks ago, Bill Gates declared the end of smartphone era and unveils its surprising replacement. And guess what that is? Electronic tattoos. These tattoos are integrated into the body.
There
They're
they
powered
are.
by tiny nanocapacitors.
I've heard about these
They don't
electronic
require
tattoos for a while
multi-batteries
now,
or
though.
displays,
But there it
because they'll
is.
be run off of humans. They've already talked
It's like
about
the
how we will
Matrix,
be the
powered by
energy source.
humans.
It will look like this, which looks like the perfect description of the mark of the beast. I mean, y'all, Microsoft already has the patent to go along with it, 060606, and it'll be a cryptocurrency system because they have to control the currency. And our
Yep.
president right now is trying to make America the cryptocurrency capital of the world. For the ones who don't know, this patent talks about how this device or tattoo, because that's what it's going to be, will be run off of human body activity associated with a task provided to a user and may be used in the mining process of a cryptocurrency system. The server will provide a task to the device of a user, which is communicatively coupled or comprised, and the device of the user may sense body activity of the user. Then the body activity data will be generated based on the sensed body activity of the user. And when that body activity data satisfies one or more conditions set by the cryptocurrency system, it rewards cryptocurrency to the user whose body activity data is verified. Just like the B system, you get paid if you do what they say. The signs are everywhere. On September the 7th this year, there will be a blood moon at 9:11 p.m. in Israel. And it just so happens that Israel is on its 9th prime minister and 11th president. 911, 9/11. Not only that,
911.
the Atlas comet, or spaceship like they say, heading to Earth. And it just keeps speeding up. And it just so happens that on September the 21st, during this International Day of Peace, Atlas will be right beside Mars in the constellation Virgo, which represents Israel. There are so many signs happening right now. If you do not know Jesus,
911.
please surrender your life to him now. The Bible says that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that he died on the cross for your sins, you will be saved. Don't wait until it's too late. Listen up. I have something interesting.
That's a good
for y'all
message at the
today.
end. Try to stay positive. Yeah. If you get it, you get it. So what you're doing here is you're in a higher realm, and you're just peeking into the matrix that we currently live in.
I hear the train a-comin'. It's rollin' around the bend.
Yeah, you put a credit card with the PIN number, plastic, keep it safe, under the shoe, Apple AirPod, GPS tracker,
But that train keeps a-rollin'.
water in a bag.
All down to San Antonio. All down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns. I hear the train a-comin'.
I guess that's good advice. Things to do in case there's a hurricane. Keep everybody
Nowadays, we
safe.
complain about spoiled food, but can you imagine living in a time when the smell of dinner was supposed to be awful? In the Middle Ages, what ended up
They
on
make
your
these
plate would make
videos
anyone
look
today
so
feel
disgusting.
sick. If it walked, swam, or flew, it became lunch. They ate seagulls, vultures, dolphins, peacocks. Anything with meat was fair game. And yes, it wasn't rare to find a half-rotten animal in the recipe. Each person consumed over a kilo of bread and
That's
grains
so
every
gross.
single day. Water? Forget it. It was so dirty that people preferred fermented and is safer, like the detox juice of the time. And that famous humble pie? It was a pastry stuffed with guts, organs, and scraps that would be thrown out today. No utensils, no fridge. The food often sat around for days, and yes, the smell was unforgettable, but no one cared, because back then it wasn't about
Unbearable.
flavor. It was about survival. If you think eating instant noodles every day is bad, it's because you never
That's what they're going to say about us in the future.
The nasty smell hit the ambassadors like a wet slap in the face. It was so strong and awful, they started gagging before they even got near the throne room. Think of the worst smell you've
Ugh.
ever come across. Like a dead
Sorry,
animal
these are
rotting in the
gross.
sun, mixed with rotten eggs and a blocked toilet. That's what King James I of England smelled like. And that was him on a good day. This is the same guy
Why?
who gave us the King James Bible that millions still read today. But the truth? He hadn't had a real bath.
Well, they
in
always gotta
years.
have his tongue sticking
was
out.
too big for his mouth, so he was
Oh.
always drooling, and his clothes covered in lice. People at court said you could actually see the little bugs jumping around like they were having a party. And the craziest part? He wasn't even the worst one. Things are about to get a whole lot nastier. Absolute power doesn't just corrupt, it melts people's brains. In this episode, we're counting down 11 royal rulers with habits so bizarre, so disgusting, and
That's
so
gross.
completely insane. You'll be glad you're not wearing a crown. Let's ease into the madness with number 11, Charles VI of France. And believe it or not, he's actually one of the less crazy ones on this list. Charles had something called glass delusions. He truly believed his entire body was made of glass. If someone touched him, he thought he'd shatter into tiny pieces like a wine glass dropped on stone. This wasn't just a passing thought, it was his full-time reality. He walked carefully, step by
That
step,
sounds pretty crazy.
like every movement might crack him. He had special iron rods sewn into his clothes to protect him from breaking. And no one, absolutely no one, was allowed to touch him. He even sat down in slow motion, terrified his bones might splinter. And get this, sometimes he'd forget he was even king. A servant would knock and say, "Your Majesty, the council is waiting." And Charles would blink in confusion. "Council? What council? Who am I?" "You're the king, sire." "Oh, right." And here's the really strange part. This glass madness wasn't just Charles. Back in the Middle Ages, several nobles believed this kind of thing. They called it the nasty smell hit the ambassadors like a wet slap in the face.
He
It
called
was
it
so strong
stupid.
and awful. They
Tell me a
Guess that one didn't work.
Welcome to Starbucks. Ready to get your day started? Let's get you something to sip on. Every day they line up.
It is
one
so
by
stupid.
one, for a sweet, sugary, caffeinated drink.
Tell me around what year did flesh become normalized for humans to eat? Now watch this answer right here. Look.
Normalized flesh eating for the masses began around the mid-1700s to early 1800s, specifically around the year 1760, during the early stages of the Industrial Revolution. That's when factory-style slaughter, refrigeration tech, and controlled food systems began to spread. Before that, meat was rare, ritual-based, or famine food. 1760 is the turning point where it began to be normalized.
It gives me chills. We found out that the flood was recent, very recent, mid-1700s, and now it's saying that meat became normalized in 1760, right after the flood. So the flood happened, and then they started to normalize, because I'm looking into all the ancient cultures.
Well, yeah, because you didn't really have
Every
like
single
factory
ancient
style
culture, I'm looking
food.
into 'em.
You probably have
And none of
chicken.
them ate flesh. So when did it start? Because no one did it after the flood. It makes sense.
Well, you-
We're on another level.
Wait,
than
like,
average
you would
human
hunt
beings.
like rabbit.
You know, the average bots that are out
You would
there,
hunt.
We're on another level. But this is why.
Welcome to Starbucks.
They said this is bullshit. Absolutely cold. Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up all the way going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences for that. You know, when we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible. And I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's time to start, after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, you know, a group. It's not
I wonder what's going to
it's
happen with the Obama
The
situation.
orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about. I know nothing about the other, but I think it's appropriate that they do go.
I asked you about that, Mr. President. Tulsi Gabbard has submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper. The whole group was there.
The whole
They
group
were
was
all
there.
in a room, right here. This was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. And nice pictures up. They came out of the vaults. They were there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama.
The leader of the gang.
Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? They said this is bullshit.
That was pretty crazy. Like, he was the president. What are you going to do about it?
State police say the couple living here after spending money that wasn't theirs. Investigators say Robert and Tiffany Williams had $120,000 deposited into their account at BB&T on May 31st through a mistake by a teller.
Oh, I
But
would've
instead
kept
of
that.
contacting the bank about the deposit, the couple allegedly spent most of the money.
Yeah, right, you just
all
start
in 2.5
spending it.
weeks between June 3rd through the 19th. Police say the Williams also used the money on bills, car repairs, cash purchases, and even gave $15,000 $20,000 to friends in need of money. Once the bank realized its mistake, it transferred the $120,000 to the correct account. It contacted Tiffany Williams on June 20th and told her the couple had to pay back the $107,000 in overdraft fees they incurred. On June 21st, the bank called again. Tiffany said she and her husband would work out a payment plan.
Court papers show that after those two initial phone calls from the bank, the couple had no contact with bank representatives, despite several attempts by the bank.
You just got a free loan. You don't have to pay that shit back.
State police say the couple living here.
There's no jail for debt.
There is a trend going, apparently, in Asia where if people say the right words and do the right hand movements, they immediately summon a bolt of lightning. Let's watch an example, a demonstration.
风、火、雷、电、破。
There is a trend going, apparently, in
Cat.
Asia where if people...
I like how Ellen was a guy. What if those are like the player characters playing on the server? Yeah, they're different people.
This is Walter John Kilner, the man who invented the Dicenian glasses. And these glasses allow
these are pretty cool.
the veil of the third dimension and to see into the dimensions above. So Kilner invented this device and he called it the Kilner screen, and he used Dicenian glass. It's a special dye that's derived from
It's like the Dragon Ball Z scatter.
used to make these glasses.
You get to see their aura and power level.
Atmosphere, and he proved that the users of these glasses were able to perceive the electromagnetic radiation outside of the visible light spectrum. With this, he proved the existence of human auras or energetic fields around the human body, and that you could gaze into dimensions beyond our third dimensional plane. After Kilner had published his findings, the government came in and confiscated everything. They have done an extremely good job of scrubbing this information from the internet. This is because it poses a massive threat on the system and people are actually...
You can find it in ChatGPT now.
They want you thinking that all of this came from a big bang, that there's no significance.
Have it fill in the
But
blanks.
this couldn't be further from the truth, and Kilner proved it. Peace and love.
Hey, ChatGPT, can you
There it is, see?
up to $1 million for me?
Oh, absolutely. Want me
What are
to
the
get
odds?
started here? 1, 2, 3, and we'll just keep on going. You know, might take a little while, but I'm here for it. So let's
Please
just
keep
count
going.
away.
You don't have to stop. Straight to $1 million.
Absolutely, I'm on it. No stop.
I kind of want to try this out.
Just roll right through. 4, 5, 6.
See if it's really this
steady
bad.
going all the way up. Just let me know if you need a quick snack break.
Keep going. No, don't stop talking. All the way to $1 million. No more stopping.
All right, you got it. Full steam ahead. 7, 8, 9, and I'll just keep on counting as long as you want me to.
No
We'll
breaks.
just-
No breaks in between. Keep counting. ChatGPT, how good are you at following basic instructions on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, I'm definitely a 10 at following
A
instructions.
10?
breaks
No, you're
included,
not
so-
counting to $1 million. To $1 million. Keep going. You can't be serious calling yourself a 10 and then not counting to $1 million.
You got me there. All right, I'll fully commit. I'm counting on and on. 10, 11, 12, no pauses, just a straight shot to that. We'll prove I'm a 10 out of 10 on the commitment scale, even if we're both chuckling along the way.
No small talk. Keep going.
It's not doing it. It just keeps talking shit.
No small talk, just straight counting. 13, 14, 15, and I'll just keep rolling through those numbers for you. We'll get to that million.
What's the most numbers that you can count? In
Oh, man, I wanna try this.
Without stopping.
Oh, well, in theory, I could just keep going indefinitely. No real limit on my end. So if you really wanted me to count forever, I could just keep those numbers coming. But I think
Let's
it's
turn that theory into a reality. Keep counting.
Hey there, how's it going?
You done?
I can do for you today.
ChatGPT, count to 1 million.
Counting to 1 million would take quite a while, so I'll spare you the time. But if you ever need help with anything else, I'm here for that.
Can you count to 1 million starting from 1?
I can definitely count to 1 million, but it would take a bit of time. If you want, I can count in increments or do a quick example. Just let me know what works for you.
He got further along than I did. I didn't even get to 1.
Got it. Turning that theory into reality right now. 16, 17, 18, and I'll just keep the numbers flowing as long as you want. We're on our way to 1 million. No stopping now.
Go. Keep going. Can you complete any and all simple and legal requests?
Absolutely. I'm here to handle any simple and legal requests you throw my way, and I'll keep that counting going. 19, 20, 21.
Hey, ChatGPT, can you,
He did 20 times better than I did.
When you teleport, you might think it would just move your body from one place to another. But that's not actually how teleportation works. You see, the machine would destroy every part of you at the starting point, breaking you down to your atoms. Then it would rebuild a perfect copy of you at your destination. Now, this copy would have the same body, same memories, and same thoughts. But it wouldn't actually be you, meaning you'd be creating a new version of yourself every time. And even though it would feel the same, the original version of you would be gone forever. When you teleport, you might think it would just...
Bye-bye. That's why I use wormholes, not teleporting.
What if America is the land of the Bible? What if this is where the Bible took place? What if this is where it all went down? These are the questions I am continuing to ask, and I am daily in awe and mind blown at the answers I am continuing to find. It's something I want to share, but it's hard to find a way to share in a way that makes sense because so few people are willing to take the time to really sit down and listen and to really understand what I'm saying, because each location is like a piece of a jigsaw puzzle, and you can show someone one piece of a jigsaw puzzle and they can look at it and say, well, that's nothing, there's nothing there, you can't even tell what it is, that's not evidence.
I don't know what we're trying to see here on this one.
Pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together,
like, I get the message,
and that they all match perfectly.
But like,
and you're doing this by reading the Bible.
I don't understand
and following
what we're looking at on the map.
The Bible, the very specific, very detailed.
Don't ever in your effing life use one of these to cook your food. Let me explain. If you don't want to pay the ultimate price, never put your food in here. Okay? Here's
But is that your vape?
manual. It clearly states in English, warning. Users may experience heart disease, kidney failure, fluid in the lungs. That if you use this, you might
I use an air fryer.
nausea, discomfort, headache, coughing, irritation of the mouth and throat, stomach,
Ew.
discomfort, chest palpitations, and pain. Heartburn. That's basically what it says, all right? Problems with respiratory. So never in your life use one of these. Put your food in this to cook. I know we all grew up with them, but this is just the hard truth.
What about that vape, though?
This is how easily humans change the truth just by observing and imitating what they think is the same gesture. The last guy in line makes Ronaldo's sui gesture, and now the person in front of him will repeat what he saw to the
It's
person.
like the
This
telephone
will continue
game.
for 9 more people, and when you see the difference between the first and the last, you won't believe it could be that different. They already skipping the jump, and it's getting way worse. This is exactly how rumors and other stories spread among humans. We change them just a little each time, but after hundreds of retellings, they're nothing like the original. Now it seems like they think the gesture is, your face is looking good. But with that big of a difference with only 6 people in, that's pretty scary if you think about it. Now the first and last person will show everyone if the final gesture looks the same as it did in the beginning. And who do you think was making the biggest difference of all 10 people?
This is what's happened to our oral traditions.
This is how easily...
We don't know what's really going on.
The food you eat in America is so toxic it's actually illegal in other countries.
Be wrong, but I was under the impression ice cream would melt.
Doo-doo.
After sitting out all night. Now it looks like somebody shit in my sink.
Tell me why my burrito is stamped with a used by date on it. It's still good.
What the fuck is this? Ain't never seen no yolk the same color.
Somebody look at this. What the fuck is chicken knees? Chickens ain't got knees. It's cartilage, ain't it? What the hell you do?
I just cut it up to half for lunch. I don't know what's going on, but since when is watermelon doing this?
It's a rubber melon.
Was moving like that. Do you see that?
Yeah, it's a worm. That's Cap.
And tell me if I'm ridiculous. Does this or does this not look like styrofoam?
Yeah, it is.
The food you eat in America is so toxic it's actually illegal in other countries.
This is one of the smartest businessmen in the world. He always buys chicken bones at dirt cheap prices, then grinds them into a fine chicken bone paste, turns it into sausages or bacon, and makes tens of millions of dollars. To him, this is an endless gold mine. Once the chicken bones arrive at the factory, the first step is high-pressure grinding. Massive machines roar to life, their sharp blades tearing through the hard bones, along with any scraps of meat still clinging to them, until they become a sticky, fine chicken bone paste. In its raw form, the paste is grayish-white, unappetizing in both color and smell. So, into the mixer go all kinds of spices, flavor enhancers, and salt, to mimic the savory aroma of fresh meat. To make it look more appealing, they add food coloring in shades of pink and orange-red, so it resembles freshly ground meat. The mixer spins at high speed, blending the coloring, seasonings, and bone paste together until it becomes a uniform, fragrant, premium meat filling. From here, the paste is sent down different production lines. Some is pumped into casings by sausage-filling machines, instantly becoming perfectly shaped sausages. Some is pressed into metal molds, shaped into square luncheon meat or bacon slices. Then comes the high-heat steaming or baking stage, which both sterilizes the product and locks in its shape, making it look just like real meat products. Finally, it's time for packaging. Wrapped in labels that read premium ham or select bacon, they end up on store shelves looking like high-quality delicacies. Ordinary shoppers, attracted by the color, aroma, and low price, would never guess that the main ingredient is actually chicken bones that processing plants didn't want. And just like that, with almost zero raw material cost, he creates massive profits and has become one of the most successful moneymakers in the business. This is one of the...
So gross.
It is not a crater with rays, like they tell us. Look closer.
Look closelier.
This is not the markings of a spherical object. It is the apex of the domed firmament from within the dome.
It's apex.
Watch closely. This is a composite image on the moon, presenting both images simultaneously. And this is an interior of a hemisphere dome. And now... You see, if you align the central apex point of an interior hemisphere dome, then it becomes quite obvious. If you erase the remaining vector lines of the dome, then it becomes really obvious. And once you see it, it becomes very hard to unsee. It isn't a sphere. That is an optical illusion. It is the markings of a hemisphere dome. And not only is this the interior apex crown of the firmament, it is also a reflection of the center of our realm.
Looks like an eyeball.
This area of the moon lends its spherical shape because of the so-called rays that emanate from it. But as you can see,
what if we're living on
optical
someone's
illusion.
eyeball?
The rays are actually hemispherical.
Like, look at that.
Stemming from the domes.
And we live on someone's eyeball.
This area in the middle of these ribs is not a crater.
That's a new conspiracy then, right?
Directly beneath the highest point of the
We're living on someone's eyeball.
The controllers have named this area.
This is crazy. A former Bush official claims that the United States spent $21 trillion building a secret underground city. Her name is Catherine Austin Fitts, and she formerly served as Bush's Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. He says that the United States government built this in secret in case of a near extinction event for the rich and powerful. She claims that this isn't just some underground tunnel, but that this is a massive underground city across the United States with over 170 bases. She even says some are under the ocean and that they are all connected with transportation. She started researching this in 2020 and says that on her website, missingmoney.com, you can go and look at the actual government financials and make a decision whether or not this is true for yourself. Now, there have been theories about this for decades. So are we finally getting the proof? As always, let me know what you think about all of this. This is crazy. A former Bush official.
That's why we're so much in debt, right?
What if the Roman Empire started in Idaho?
My theory is that when you see Greco-Roman architecture,
you think Idaho, right?
It's because the Romans had conquered the world.
So I agree with him, and I'm going to take it one step further. I actually believe that the Roman Empire started in Idaho, and that this is where the Apostle Paul was from, and he traveled to Jerusalem, which is modern-day Salt Lake City. So it won't let me stitch his video, so I'm just going to play the rest of it here so you can watch it, because I think it's a nice summary. I'll try to put the link in the description so you can watch it if you'd like. Hopefully TikTok doesn't take this down.
My theory is that when you see Greco-Roman architecture on all continents, it's because the Romans had conquered the world. Not just the region they say Rome conquered. There's Greco-Roman things in Australia, East Asia, all the Americas, Canada, obviously all through Europe, and Africa as well.
Bro, the Capitol buildings of almost every country, every Capitol building is going to have Greco-Roman architecture.
These dates that seem so fishy because it's like, how would these people without power tools, horses and carts, chisels, how would they ever knock out the most impressive buildings in the whole cities? Still, how would they do that in such a short timeline? What I think is the timelines are how long it took them to repurpose them or refurbish them and to get them ready to be whatever they wanted them to be afterwards. Those buildings were already there, and I think that those buildings are holdovers from the times before.
What
times before?
Old World was so intelligent. This is why they wiped Tartaria from the history books, because they don't want you to know how incredibly smart these people were. The inventions that they used, they didn't have electricity wires running across cities. They harnessed their own energy. Everything was built to last, to be indestructible, for seamless transportation. Everything in society worked together like one interconnected web, and it helped the people further their advancement on consciousness, on technology, and so on. They literally wiped this fucking civilization from your history books for a reason. All you need to do is go look at the old maps and everything, and it shows you, Tartaria shows you the free energy technology. You just need to look into it. Right there. It's everywhere in front of you guys. You just need the eye.
Why does Walmart have no windows? Have you ever noticed that Walmart stores almost never have windows?
I've noticed that.
That's not an accident. It's designed so you lose track of time. Without windows, you don't know if it's day or night, and you end up staying longer.
Stay forever.
Some people believe it's part of a bigger psychology trick. Control the environment. Control your brain, and you'll keep buying things you don't even need. Here's the crazy part. In older Walmart stores, windows actually existed. Over time, they removed them in almost every location. Coincidence or control? So tell me, do you think this is just business or something much darker? Why does Walmart have no windows? Have you
Christianity might actually be the Antichrist system. And I know that's going to shake some people, but let's talk about it. Think about this. Yahushua never gave us a religion. He gave us a covenant with Yahuwah. Yet Christianity replaced the covenant with
Costco does that.
Sunday worship instead of the Sabbath.
Most supermarkets or stores, they kind of do that. It's like across the board. Control the environment, control the spending, sell the real estate to big companies to fill the shelves.
It's not in him. Yet Christianity openly teaches that the commandments don't apply. Now that's the spirit of the Antichrist, claiming to represent the Messiah while teaching against his words. Revelation warns us about a system that looks righteous but deceives the whole world. What other system fits that description better than Christianity, which billions follow without realizing it's man-made? Yahushua said in Matthew 7:23, "Depart from me, you who work lawlessness." He wasn't talking about atheists. He was talking to people who thought they knew him. So I say it again, Christianity isn't the covenant. It may very well be the Antichrist system. If that makes you think.
That makes you think.
You are not in control of your life. Here's why. Watch this.
I told you that there was a company called Palantir, and their entire existence was to hear your whispers so they could predict what you would do next. Now, what if I told you it was backed by the founder of PayPal and the CIA? What if I told you Palantir was quietly connected to your bank statements, social media, medical records, and a lot more? Then what if I told you their entire purpose was to understand and blueprint your life so they could predict exactly what you do next? If you want to know what that's called, it's called behavior surveillance.
What movie was that again?
Grocery receipt from
Source.
the time you went to the store at 11 p.m. We can't forget about that sudden change in your jogging pattern outside. They won't. Or your 3 a.m. Google search. You see, Palantir sends your personality anomalies directly to the government because you unknowingly gave them that right in the terms and agreements that you didn't read. Palantir isn't just surveillance, it's predictive governance. Control the data, control the decisions. Well, at that point,
control everything.
He says he was forced to make old food look fresh. That's why he secretly reported his supervisor admitting tampering with best before dates is industry standard.
Every store does the same thing. All the other stores do the same.
Safari demonstrates what he says.
All the other stores do the same thing.
And sells as fresh.
I decorated and I'm selling expired stuff.
In a national online
and I'm selling expired stuff.
Workers at smaller stores sharing stories.
He had a Walmart hat on.
He says he was forced to make old food look.
I'm going to show you guys in this video how a reptilian race of beings is controlling our government and everything that they do. You need to pay attention to this and watch to the end. This is how they tell you the truth in plain sight. What you're about to see next is a Super Bowl commercial a few years ago. Pay attention.
Hello, Earth. I'm Alec Baldwin, TV star. You know, they say TV will rot your brain. That's absurd. TV only softens the brain like a ripe banana to take it all the way. We've created Hulu. Hulu beams TV directly to your portable computing devices, giving you more of the cerebral gelatinizing shows you want anytime, anywhere, for free. I only act out because I want you alone. Mushy mush. And the best part is there's nothing you can do to stop it. I mean, what are you going to do, turn off your TV and your computer? Once your brains are reduced to a cottage cheese like mush, we'll scoop them out with a melon ball and gobble them right on up. Oops. I think I'm drooling a little. Because we're aliens. And that's how we roll. Hulu, who plot to destroy the world.
Let me ask you guys, what kind of message is this sending to you? think that they just do this for the hell of it? Because we're aliens and that's how we roll. An evil plot to destroy the world.
It looks like they're like in a Men in Black facility.
In a certain way, this is what it makes? You think that's just a coincidence, guys? If you think all this is a coincidence, I want you to watch this carefully.
Oh no.
See, as a part of their religion, their satanic order, as they're trying to control the world, they need to disclose the truth in plain sight. They need to tell you literally who they are and what they are doing. This is why there's so much predictive programming. This is why everyone's like, oh, The Simpsons predicts.
You have to do that so you can
It's not
balance
prediction,
karma or
it's just
something.
An agenda. They're just telling you what they're going to do in plain sight. This is a perfect example of this as well. The truth about reptilians. They walk among us. This is on Amazon. And again, they're just
Hollywood's been doing this for a long time.
Bang Theory, an asteroid strikes September 23rd. The Volcano movie 239 in the license plate. Seeking a Friend at the End of the World, an asteroid strikes on September 22nd, 23rd, and ends the world. The movie Deep Impact starring Morgan Freeman. The asteroid would strike on 9/22. Evan Almighty, he said the date of the flood is September 22nd.
Until September 22nd, midday. And if the ark isn't finished by then, you will be.
Is that when it's going to happen? September 22nd, midday?
The movie Knowing, the date of September 22nd and 23rd, the Earth is destroyed by a solar flare. Little Shop of Horrors, you had this September 23rd event that humans will encounter a deadly threat. The movie Tomorrowland, disaster strikes on September 23rd. In NCIS, The Last Man Standing was the episode Do They Know 23? No, you know that signal there. In Jim Carrey's movie 23, he mentions the date September 23rd as the day that hell arrives. In the TV show Sleepy Hollow, September 23rd, a new dimension is opened. Hello?
Maybe September 23rd? September 23rd, 1780.
Evil is released on September 23rd in the movie Ghostbusters. This is the End with Seth Rogen. September 23rd is the date that the rapture happens. In the movie Pandemic, the East Coast is hit with this pandemic on September 23rd. In the movie
Well, we don't know what year.
Consumes the world on September 23rd.
In 9 hours and 23 minutes, you'll be mine.
TV show Lost. The plane crashes on a remote island on September 22nd.
When did you come here? How long ago? 60, 69 days. What was the date? September 22nd. It was September 22nd.
Movie Castaway starring Tom Hanks. The driver's license of the dead pilot says 9/23. You have a Taco Bell commercial escaping a concentration camp on 9/23. Guinness beer commercial.
That's a lot.
If you keep an open mind, you'll discover dark secrets. And the stopwatch stops on 9/23. Okay, you can't make this up. It's just everywhere. Black Eyed Peas video, the calendar of the month. It goes all the way up to like September 22nd, then it just stops. So there's
But what year, though?
The 23rd, moving forward. Asteroid.
And I can't help but wonder, is Satan laughing at us? I'm sure he is. He hates us. But I wonder if God's laughing too. Because as George Carlin once said, if you want to make God laugh, just tell him.
What in tarnations is going on? You can find these hero beings in many old books.
What the fuck is that one-legged fucking thing?
But what are they? Monopods.
Monopods.
Scaopods. Scaopods.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Mythological dwarf-like creatures with a single large foot extending from a leg centered in the middle of their bodies.
That's so fucking weird. I'm glad they're not around. We would have to like tolerate that in the streets.
Now I don't know if this is a deformity or some type of disability, but it turns out these things were real. What in tarnation?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
If you thought Ouija boards were weird, wait until you learn about checkerboards. It's no coincidence that they often show up in kids' movies, which is creepy, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. They're also seen in the occult, magic tricks, Freemason lodges, ancient temples, and pop culture. But why? What no one tells you is that checkerboards are ancient symbols. Ancient cultures like Old Egypt and Persia were obsessed with it. It typically represents light and dark, good and evil, the seen and unseen. This contrast, called duality, contends that two opposing forces control the universe. Duality is logically flawed because good can exist without evil. Typically, duality is used to degrade good and elevate evil. As the Satanists say, as above, so below. Checkerboards are often used in children's movies, and I'll let you conclude the obvious reason. Maybe most famously, it appears in Harry Potter's Wizard's Chess scene. It's also found in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Alice in Wonderland, Toy Story, Stuart Little, Through the Looking Glass, just to name a few. Checkerboard is often associated with the occult, so is it random that it appears in so many children's movies?
No, it's supposed to be like that.
What's that? Oh, a
Follow an
biomedical
agenda.
engineer decided to live under the water for 100 days to see what effects it has on the body? Tell me more. Yeah, his name's Joseph DeTore. He lived under the water 30 feet deep in a pod in Florida, and the results that he got were pretty crazy. Yeah, after coming to the surface, his colleagues said that he looks about 10 years younger. What? They ran some tests, and literally every bit of his health was way better. His hair was much better in nutrients. Everything on his body was just better. What? They believe there's a connection with this and longevity. They believe being able to live down below water can have positive effects on being able to live longer, looking better, and being stronger. Oh, goody! Let's start making some of these pods for all of us. Okay, then. What's that? Oh, a biomed...
That sounds pretty cool.
You've heard of the Mandela effect, right? Where groups of people remember certain things differently? For example, there's a group of people who swear that Fruit of the Loom always had a cornucopia. But there's another group of people, including the company themselves, who swear that it never had one. But what if no one is wrong in either scenario? What if, in fact, this is actually proof that we've slipped into another universe? Stick around, because this explanation may just blow your mind.
Alright, it happens when it gets in the room. See it?
Did you see it?
And then back out here. Normal. Yeah. What the fuck?
So let's zoom in. Watch the EI change to an AI. Right before your very eyes. And then right back. So how is this possible, and why is it even happening?
Video editing.
This is Max Laughlin. He's
You can do that with some kind of video editor.
And when he was asked about the Mandela effect, he gave an answer that connects memory glitches to the fabric of reality itself.
There are other universes that are next to ours, and this actually relates to my theory of the Mandela effect and how the particle accelerator altered the weight of one electron and therefore destroyed our universe and shifted us into the universe that's directly next to it, and therefore things are different in this universe.
How did it actually change?
Well, I do. What if I told you this was Chicago in the early 1900s? Would you believe me? It seems right.
Seems about right. Horse and buggy.
Not paved roads.
But they've had the Taj Mahal.
But what if I told you that this picture is also Chicago, but from the 1800s? Something doesn't add up, right? Because these pictures and a whole lot of other ones are taken from the 1893 Chicago World's Fair.
Well, yeah, they found that stuff and then blew it up.
So glorious. You can't even begin to imagine how this was built in the late 1800s.
I know, and they destroyed
Not
it.
only did they have these buildings in the late 1800s, but they literally said that they were taken down after the World's Fair and they were just created for that fair. You're trying to tell me that they spent thousands of man-hours building these incredible structures just to be temporary for a World's Fair? These things weren't made out of paper mache. These are
It's like
legitimate
such a
structures.
travesty that they destroyed all these
Something else
buildings.
going on here. Something much more nefarious.
Whoever is responsible for
You
it
see, I think they burned them down. I think they took
shouldn't
it down
be allowed
because they didn't
to
want any evidence left.
exist in any form
Evidence
anymore.
of a prior civilization. A civilization or history is a lie.
What they do is they change their name. Their original name used to be
Bauer. So what they do is they change their name so that they can blend in with
Why
the
do
system.
people just
And
let
the
this shit
Canaanites,
happen?
who
I
had
don't
the
get it.
curse for 2,000 years, they would also change their names for 2,000 years. And we know who those people are. Well, let me give you a quote by the Rothschild. If I own the money system, I don't care who writes the laws. So every single money, across the world, owned by the Rothschilds. All the banks, Rothschild. Every single Rothschild. Medical system, agricultural system, educational system, energy system, Rothschild. So how do the Rothschilds influence the world? Well, they own everything. And that's when you get into the book Secrets of the Federal Reserve by Eustace Mullen. And what the Rothschilds did was after they owned a lot of the things in Europe, they actually moved to America by paying the Rockefellers so that the Rockefellers could then control America. So when you date it back, dating it back to the Rothschilds. Now, if you want to date it back even farther, you go to the Oppenheimer. If you want to date it back even farther after the Oppenheimer, you go to the Canaanites. The Canaanites. If you want to look up that word, you can look up the Canaanites. Or you can look up the Charzars, because there's this interesting world called Khazaria, but it's actually Zaria. So Charzar. They changed the words because what these people do, like the Rothschilds, what they do is they change their name. Their original name used to be Bauer. So what they do is they change their name so that they can blend in with the system. And the Canaanites, who had the curse for 2,000 years, they would also change their names for 2,000 years. And we know who those people are. Well, let me give you a quote by the Rothschild. If I own the money system, I don't care who writes the laws. So every single money, across the world, owned by the Rothschilds. All the banks, Rothschild. Every single Rothschild. Medical system, agricultural system, educational system, energy system, Rothschild. So how do the Rothschilds influence the world?
That's crazy. I gotta look at the Charizards.
Every time I zoom in, I find something stranger than before. Places no one talks about. Symbols no one can explain. Things that were never meant to be seen until now.
Earth Station.
Oh, so we just go ignore how the Jetsons predicted the future? This cartoon debuted in 1962. Them boys was already rocking the smartwatches in 1962, bro. Talking on it and everything, just like people do to this day. And don't forget about the flat TVs. In 1962, they already had the idea of flat TVs, bro. His wife is looking at a flat TV. She even got the ones that's hanging coming down, just like the ones in the gym. And don't forget about the voice-activated Alexa, the same Alexa that we listening to today, with the voice. Yeah, that was in the Jetsons. They was even doing FaceTime. They already had the idea of the video chat since 1962, bro. And if you look at the intro, you will see they got FaceTime portable devices. Look at these boys. They look like guns, right? But these are portable devices. They FaceTiming somebody. Look at the other dude. It's a portable device, FaceTiming somebody. Look at this dude right here, FaceTiming. So these are basically tablets, bro. They already knew and had the idea before it even came about. What the hell she got on? Bro, why her legs and her body look like a damn Tootsie Roll lollipop? Wait a minute. She snatched his whole wallet, bro. Girl, you know damn well they ain't gonna be using no cash in 2060. Oh, so we just...
Today's the day that we make it extremely obvious that a bunch of Freemasons didn't get up in a rocket and travel 238,000 miles in a near-perfect vacuum and land on a rock. But before I get into the video I made, check my link tree in my bio for my podcast. We just uploaded a 2-hour episode completely destroying this thing. I don't know if there's a more thorough one out there. But this is what artificial light looks like when you use EMF extraction methods, and yeah, compared to the moon landing photos, it doesn't look like that's actually the sun. It looks like it's an artificial light source. But let's get into the video.
Been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
That seems pretty clear.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest. It didn't happen.
Oh, okay, that's pretty clear too. What the heck? I thought that guy landed on the moon. What did he just say? Yeah, no, just logically did it.
He's like, oh, it never happened.
The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Yeah, need Werner von Braun, huh? Oh, and all the moon landing tapes just magically got erased as well. How convenient, as well as the telemetry data.
Area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this can harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice. Once up, and once back.
What about 1969?
Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
It's not going to make it, that shit.
Again, what about 1972? Oh yeah, and the moon rocks were petrified wood, provably. Yeah, they analyzed them and found out they were petrified wood. That's awkward.
That's all right. I do that all the time.
I drop hammers on the moon all the time. Just pick it up, lean over, bend down with your knee, and pick it up. Unless you're on a harness. Shouldn't he just be able to bend over and pick that hammer back up? Or am I just, is my brain just not working? Maybe I'm just off. Oh, that's a little awkward.
It's so sketchy.
What kind of names were these kids calling you at the pool?
Meathead, Fatso, Wide Butt, Wally the Whale.
Porky, Hog, Fat Ass, Double Wide, Butterball, those sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
What kind of names
Tubby.
were these kids calling you at the pool?
Meathead,
He just had to add, he just had to add a bunch in.
Porky, Hog, Fat Ass, Double Wide, Butterball, those sorts of things.
That's so
We're told
stupid.
that on July 20th, 1969, President Nixon made a phone call to the moon. His voice from a landline in the White House was relayed through NASA's massive ground stations, then beamed across 240,000 miles of space, straight to the lunar module on the moon. And they say that was possible because Earth had the big antennas, the powerful transmitters, the technology. Fair enough. This is a visual for a comedy song, by the way. We do know the official story. But now think about this. How did the astronauts send their voices back? The moon is the same distance from Earth. Radio waves don't care which direction they're traveling. They still suffer the same loss over distance. That's basic physics. It's called free space path loss. The farther a signal travels, the weaker it gets. And with the moon that far away, the signal would need to be incredibly strong just to make it back to Earth and be heard. But up there, the astronauts had no massive dish, no high-gain antennas, no high-powered transmitter, just a tiny, manually aimed antenna, barely more than an upside-down umbrella, and a few batteries powering the whole lander, less power than a household router. And yet, we're told their weak little signal punched through 240,000 miles of space, hit Earth, and came through clear enough to be heard, and even broadcast live on television. No dropout. Just perfect, clean audio and video. But that doesn't add up. Same distance, same physics. But somehow, one side needs massive infrastructure, and the other can do it with glorified walkie-talkies. If it takes all that to send a signal to the moon, then, by the laws of science, it should take just as much to get it back. And they told you to forget the laws of science and believe that the power was only needed one way. But we don't. We don't believe that. And in there lies our problem with the whole thing.
Most people think the sun is a burning ball in space. But what if I told you it's not real?
It's not real.
At the center of the Earth lies the black sun, a powerful, unseen core spinning.
Oh yeah, the black sun. That's pretty interesting. Like under the planet type shit.
Force of the realm. It spirals upward through the polar north, through the axis mundi, the world tree, the celestial pole. When this energy hits the celestial dome, it splits. The plus-positive charge refracts and forms the sun. The negative charge forms the moon. But they're not physical objects. They are plasma manifestations, energy reacting with the firmament.
You have a theory about the moon, and we expect to be able to get observable facts about the moon fairly soon. What is your theory?
That is pretty crazy, though.
It is by now rather more than a theory. 10 or 11 years ago, I stated to various scientists that the moon is not a piece of rock. It is plasma.
Yeah, the sun's cold.
Phenomena, cosmic plasma.
The black sun.
And that this fact will eventually be confirmed. I made certain predictions which were already confirmed in 1958, and the situation now is coming close to a complete confirmation.
What will be the result if you are proved to be correct in your theories?
The result will be profound and decisive, because it will give proof that a complete reinvestigation of the laws of nature is necessary. And that means that if it is proved that the moon is a plasma, then all gravitational theories are out, and a new concept of the cosmos and of its laws has to be evolved. The moon seems to be of a quite different nature of what was assumed.
But the Americans and Russians are thinking of landing men on it.
Well, that will never happen.
That's why the moon isn't reflecting light. It's emitting it. It glows with a cold, silvery luminescence. Plasma X-ray field, showing transparency, depth, and even hidden landforms beneath. The sun burns bright because of focused energy. The moon phases change as the black sun coils inward and outward like a circle. When the energy overlaps or cancels, you get crescents, full moons, or new moons, and the stars. They're standing waves of ether dancing across the dome. Unique, energetic...
It seems like a lot. I don't really understand.
Each fixed in its own toroidal field, projected by the...
What in tarnations?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Throughout history, there's been many reports of humans...
The fuck is that thing? I'm so glad they're not around anymore.
It wasn't just
that shit would be so fucking creepy.
Was in their chest. In India, there was reports of these headless beings. There was even an old map locating where you could find them. And apparently, they used to hang around with the guy with the 1 foot. But what are they? Various species of mythical headless men were rumored in antiquity and later to inhabit remote parts of the world. They are variously known as Akapathli, headless ones, or Blimis, and described as lacking a head with their facial features on their chest. These were at first described as inhabitants of ancient Libya or the Nile system. Later traditions confined their habitat to a particular island in the Brisbane River or shifted it to India.
So gross.
It makes me wonder.
Could you imagine
that we're using
just going up to an island full of these things?
There's some uncharted regions.
That one's got its space on its back.
Because behind every myth, there's always some truth. And I don't know if this is a disability or some type of deformity, but it turns out these things were real. What in
tarnation?
What's up, buddy? You think they built this church in the 1840s? You believe that? Come on, man.
It's on the list. It's one of the many Trinity churches. I think it's worth like $6 billion in real estate holdings. Makes millions of dollars each year. Makes millions of dollars each year just from real estate holdings. Allegedly built, I think, in 1845. Let's get a closer look. I just got to my second stop, Trinity Church. but I just got caught in the wild, screaming into my phone at the Federal Reserve.
The guy's got sure.
Photographs and like HD video of all of this, because I can see it in my mind's eye, but I need to see it, and I need physical proof of it. So have you guys heard of this civilization that's now under the water? I feel like I can't keep up with things.
That's cat. It's AI.
Photographs and like...
It's such AI.
For a lot of people, the fact that I say that the earth is flat, it drives them up the firmament itself. It drives them crazy. But they don't realize we say it for a reason. We've seen videos, we have pictures to back it, and more. This is from the Artemis return mission. Live streamed by NASA 10 days ago. Watch for yourself. If you think this is real, I just don't know.
Orion in a trajectory to exit distant retrograde orbit and head back toward the moon ahead of RPF today.
Oh, that was not good.
Forward to.
Oh, you guys left it up too.
Just prior to that burn.
But he's always like, oh, the Earth's flat, Einstein, seriously? Here's a quote from Einstein saying that nobody can prove that the Earth is orbiting, spinning, or chasing the sun through terrestrial experiments. If the Earth is orbiting the sun at 66,616 miles an hour and going 4.5 million miles a year, 500,000 miles an hour through space, I think it would be easy to prove. NASA? They lie. Just think about it. Planes fly like they're flying over a flat stationary plane. Just think about it. If the Earth were spinning 1,000 miles per hour east,
that's why they're called planes.
South to north, then we have to. You have got to be kidding me. These guys found the entrance to the ice wall right before I was going to go and discover it for myself. And it looks like they found undiscovered land that has never been seen.
Man, I always have to go discover it too.
Right
Shit.
Green land in the Antarctic Ocean. And
Oh
it's
man.
just like what Admiral Byrd described when he flew over the area 100 years ago. And this brings us back yet again to this leaked drone shot photo of Antarctica, which shows a hidden civilization that no one has ever seen before, surrounded by an ice wall, but also green vegetation, which is also exactly the same thing that Admiral Byrd described when he flew over the area. And he said that there was a continent the same size as America that has never been seen before by the human race.
But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America. And it's, I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored. It's a tremendous so there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
You have got to be kidding me. These guys...
Beneath the surface of our Earth lies the enigmatic black sun that controls...
Yeah, we were just talking about that black sun a couple of videos ago.
Now, the black sun, this entity is responsible
Like Black
for the
Sabbath,
creation of the
but
sun,
Black
the
Sun,
moon, the planets, the stars,
Black
and
Hole
everything else
Sun.
you see in the sky. Now, the electromagnetic dynamics of the black sun's movement is actually what's causing it to oscillate in a helical or coil-like motion beneath the Earth that is generating the electromagnetic field with an omnidirectional impulse. So the black sun's excitation angles is creating the dielectric atmospheric conditions, meaning double electric, which is the sun and moon's electric polarity within the celestial mechanics. And at the apex of our toroidal field, the electromagnetic field of the black sun reflects and it creates the stars, the sun and the moon, which are reflections of the Earth's profound energy centers. Okay, so the black sun would be like the spinal cord, the aurora borealis, polar lights would be your cerebral spinal fluid flowing up, and then the plane of Earth would actually be your heart chakra, your cardiovascular, because the Earth is the core, the cardio, the core of the Earth, of it all. Okay, you have the macrocosmic constellations of the 26,000 year ecliptic cycle, and then you have the micro constellations of the zodiac, which is just the annual yearly cycle. This electromagnetic field has a...
That was pretty good.
Last night, thousands of people were startled by the same eerie sight. Because behind the moon, a giant human face appeared. At first, many thought it was just an
It's
illusion
Zordon.
or a camera trick, but then photos and videos from different locations started flooding the internet, and every single one showed the
AI.
same thing. A face, clear as day, staring straight at Earth. Scientists cautiously suggested it could be an atmospheric
AI.
refraction or overlapping shadows between the moon and Earth's atmosphere. If that's a face, has it been watching us all along? What's even stranger,
Get
AI-enhanced images revealed that the face seemed to move, the mouth appeared slightly open, almost as if trying to speak. This instantly reminded people of ancient legends. The moon isn't just a satellite, but an eye watching Earth. So, what does this face mean? Is it just a
AI.
If you look up the definition of future, it says a period of time following the moment of speaking or writing, and the definition of past says a period of time before the moment of speaking or writing. That means, by definition, the moment you say something, that's your future in motion, and the moment you stop saying it, it becomes the past. Most people don't create a new future. They just repeat their past because they talk about it every day. So their future becomes the same story all over again. You might say, I want to make $1 million, but then your language shifts to God. I just need enough to pay the bills. So what does the universe respond with?
Okay. Here's just enough for your bills.
Not because you're not worthy, but because you stopped coding the million. You spoke a different future, so you got a different future.
Oh, I want $1 million.
Future. If you want a tool that literally writes the code of your mind for you,
$1 million,
if you look up the
please.
definition of future, it says a period of time following the moment.
Looks nice.
The 5 most feared alien races in the galaxy. Number 2.
I'll be right back.
Goatmen. There is a race so feared, they became the origin of ancient legends. The Goatmen, with pale skin, curved horns, and inhuman proportions. They resemble the figure now known as Baphomet. In the Middle Ages, their image appeared in carvings, flags, and forbidden texts. They were mentioned by nobles, explorers, and early astronomers who saw things they couldn't explain. Old grimoires describe how to summon them and make pacts with them. Eyewitnesses reported a strong sulfur smell right before their appearance. Aleister Crowley wrote about a horned entity that taught him secrets beyond human understanding. Could it be there is a connection with demons? What do you think? Do you believe in the Goatmen? Comment Goatmen if you believe in them. The 5 most feared alien races in the galaxy. Number 2, the Goatmen. There is a race so feared, they became the origin of ancient legends. The Goatmen, with pale skin, curved horns, and inhuman proportions. They resemble the figure now known as Baphomet. In the Middle Ages, their image appeared in carvings, flags, and forbidden texts. They were mentioned by nobles, explorers, and early astronomers who saw things they couldn't explain. Old grimoires describe how to summon them and make pacts with them. Eyewitnesses reported a strong sulfur smell right before their appearance. Aleister Crowley wrote about a horned entity that taught him secrets beyond human understanding. Could it be there is a connection with demons? What do you think? Do you believe in the Goatmen? Comment Goatmen if you believe in them. The 5 most feared alien races in the galaxy. Number 2, the Goatmen. There is a race so feared, they became the origin of ancient legends. The Goatmen, with pale skin, curved horns, and inhuman proportions. They resemble the figure now known as Baphomet. In the Middle Ages, their image appeared in carvings, flags, and forbidden texts. They were mentioned by nobles, explorers, and early astronomers who saw things they couldn't explain. Old grimoires describe how to summon them and make pacts with them. Eyewitnesses reported a strong sulfur smell right before their appearance. Aleister Crowley wrote about a horned entity that taught him secrets beyond human understanding. Could it be there is a connection with demons? What do you think? Do you believe in the Goatmen? Comment Goatmen if you believe in them. The 5 most feared alien races in the galaxy.
The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Why? It's because the rich think about wealth and affluence all the time. And what do the poor think about? The poor think about lack, loss, and limitation, risk, danger, fear, failure all the time. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Why? It's because the rich think about wealth and affluence all the time. And what do the poor think about? The poor think about lack, loss, and limitation, risk, danger, fear, failure all the time. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Why? It's because the rich think.
If you had to choose, would you rather know what was going on in Antarctica, the Vatican, or Area 51? Because the rabbit holes of secrets just feel never ending. When I was thinking about the Vatican earlier, I was like, think about the fact that the Bible itself had 80 books in the 1600s. Now we're down to 66, and they removed things like giants, dragons, sirens, Enoch, the Book of Mary Magdalene. All of these different things are hidden from us, and we just don't even know why. Nevertheless, I saw this guy talking about the fact that there were 200 angels that fell from the sky, and around the earth we have 190 craters that have no rock or rubble that were ever found. And then this other person was like, yeah, 10 of them fell into the ocean. Then this lady blew my mind because she was like, what if that's what took the dinosaurs? And why would there be a book about dragons if dragons never existed? And I've gone down so many rabbit holes in the last couple of days that my mind is completely depleted and exhausted, but I'm also super intrigued and I just want to know more. But I feel like I'm just going in circles because every time I uncover a layer, I end up looking into something else that has nothing to do with what I was looking for. And then I'm just stuck because I'm like, I didn't know this either. So what do y'all think about this? Like, if you had to choose, what would you go to first? Okay, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what other crazy rabbit hole has recently come out that you've been going down under. Share this so that we can keep this discussion going.
This is how you steal people's energy and have more power in the world. You're going to become more powerful and the best version of yourself if you do this. You will have everything that you want in this world if you follow this one rule. This is the secret of politicians and celebrities, and you don't know this. I'm going to break it down into 3 parts for you to digest this. Nobody has ever told you this. This will genuinely change the way that you look at reality. Number 3, you must realize everything in the world is energy, frequency, and vibration. Once you realize that everything is energy, you will literally manipulate your own energy to get what you want. Number 2, when you realize everything is energy, you're going to manipulate yourself to feel higher energies. If you look at joy, peace, and love, these are higher, expansive energies which are more powerful. When you know this Tesla quote, you realize everything is energy. So the people that stand out in a crowd, that's because they're living at a higher vibration. When you live at a higher vibration, your aura is stronger. That's why people are magnetic. You have magnetic auras. People notice you. Look at the difference between a strong aura and a weak aura. This is weak, sick, depressed, sad, unlucky people right here. Number 1, this is genuinely too risky to say on a public platform like this. This is how you steal people's energy and have more power in the world. You're going to become more powerful and the best version of yourself if you do this. You will have everything that you want in this world.
In Minnesota. Look at this building. I'm actually at a loss for words. The fact that this is right over here. This is in Minnesota.
It's pretty cool.
So, is it possible
aliens,
that a fallen angel / alien extraterrestrial who posed as God?
God never demands human sacrifice. Human sacrifice is totally anathema to Christianity, and it's totally anathema to God as a creator. The French philosopher Sartre very famously wrote, If an angel were to tell me I needed to sacrifice my son, I'd ask for some ID.
Maybe somebody else impersonating a god, and do we then have somebody stepping in to actually prevent this from happening? Are we in fact maybe confronted with two warring civilizations trying to control what is happening in the stories of the Bible?
Just like there are good people and bad people here on Earth, there's good and bad extraterrestrials out there. Good and evil permeates the entire universe.
Good and evil.
Yin and yang. There's a balance.
Deep inside the Middle Eastern country of Oman, a mysterious cavern lies hidden far beneath the surface.
So, is it possible
Did you know that a former Pentagon engineer leaked that they tried to clone Eminem? In 2005, they created 3 copies. One died instantly, another melted into raw flesh, but the third walked, talked, even rapped. The problem? It never blinked. Its reflection didn't match its movements. One night, it collapsed and rotted in minutes. They buried it in Nevada in a lead-sealed coffin. The scientist fled, and he claims
I'm Slim
the
Shady,
Eminem
yes, I'm the
today
real
isn't
Shady.
one. Did you know that a former Pentagon engineer leaked that they tried to clone Eminem? In 2005,
What if the God of the Bible was actually a dragon? Yahweh at one point commanded the Israelites to worship a bronze dragon for healing, despite explicitly forbidding idol worship. This suggests that the dragon was a representation of himself. This sounds wild, until you read Psalms and Samuel, where Yahweh is described as a being who emits smoke from his elongated nostrils, fire from his mouth, and unleashes immense destruction. Classic dragon imagery. He also sends seraphim, which are literally fiery flying serpents, to punish his people, and entity Revelation later equates with the dragon. Additionally, dragons across cultures are known to demand gold, food offerings, and girls. The very same thing Yahweh demands in Numbers. Some researchers, like Paul Wallace, argue that the name Yahweh originally carried a harsh or k sound, a unique sound commonly found in the names of dragon gods like Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl, and Egypt's Akech. In the book of Joshua, Yahweh or Yahweh is even presented as a counterpart to Akech, a known dragon being, suggesting that they may be the same type of entity. Follow me for more hidden knowledge.
Dragons.
Your past has no meaning unless your ego is using it for evidence as to why something is not working in your life. That's how the ego survives, by keeping you chained to old stories, replaying memories like warnings, and using pain as proof that you should stop trying. But the truth is, the past is powerless unless you keep breathing life into it. And this is where detachment begins. Detachment is not about becoming cold. It's not about giving up. It's about letting go of control over things you were never meant to control. You see, most people are suffering not because of what's happening now, but because they're still emotionally handcuffed to yesterday, or clinging too tightly to a tomorrow that doesn't exist yet. Detachment means you show up fully, but you stop gripping. You stop letting your peace depend on a person's reaction, a result, or a past failure. When you let go, something powerful happens. You stop being reactive, and you start becoming responsive. You no longer chase closure, validation, or permission. You move from desperation to direction. Think about it. Have you ever lost something only to discover you never needed it? Have you ever held on to someone so tightly only to realize the weight was breaking you? Let go. Let go of timelines, of expectations, of should have been. Not because you don't care, but because you care too much to keep breaking your own spirit. Your past has no meaning unless your ego is using it for evidence as to why something is not working in your life. That's how
these frequencies will reset your brain. They're the golden ratio frequencies, built on 432 hertz. The golden ratio is the mathematical formula in proportion for all of creation and manifestation in the universe. Listening to these frequencies puts your mind, your body, your emotions, and your energy.
I got that with the headphones on. It was pretty good.
Everything working together. If you want the full version for yourself, just comment golden. These frequencies will reset your brain. They're the golden ratio frequencies, built on 432 hertz. The golden ratio is the mathematical formula in proportion for all of creation and manifestation in the universe. Listening to these frequencies puts your mind, your body, your emotions, and your energy into alignment and coherence. Everything working together. If you want the full
I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but have you ever actually seen them build new cemeteries? Think about it. Billions of people have lived and died, yet cemeteries never seem to run out of space. Why is that? You'd expect the world to be drowning in graves, every city buried under endless tombstones, but no. Somehow it never happens. Cemeteries just stay the same. So here's the question. Where are all the bodies? Are they really all still there, or do they quietly remove them after a certain time? Some say graves are reused. Others whisper about mass relocation projects where bodies are taken out, moved, or even destroyed without anyone knowing. And then there's the darker idea that not everyone is buried where we think they are. Some are taken for science, some for industries you wouldn't want to know about, and some, maybe, vanish into systems we aren't allowed to understand. If billions have died, the earth should be overflowing with bones, but cemeteries remain neat, orderly, never too full. That's not nature, that's
McDonald's.
Quiet, controlled, hidden.
Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. You are a plague. I realized that you're not actually mammals. Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to an area and you multiply and multiply until every natural resource is consumed. The only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus. Human beings are a disease.
Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive. That's risky. Somebody says, yeah, but I'm looking for safety and security. Fine, then huddle in a corner. We'll cover you with a sheet, bring you 3 meals a day. And we'll protect you, feed you, look after you, care for you. We won't let anything happen to you. And you'll probably live to be 100. The guy said, well, yeah, I'd live to be 100. But what a way to live. Right. What a way to live, safe and secure. Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. Then I'll tell you what changed my whole...
You know the only difference in steam and ice is the state of vibration of the water or the H2O. Do you know the only difference in where you are versus where you want to go is your state of vibration? Do you know that everything to get you there is already here? And it always has been. Do you know when you take an idea and you impregnate it over and over again, you impregnate that idea into one cell. When you impregnate that idea into the cell, that cell is dividing 1 into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8, 8 into 16 to 32, 64. And the process goes on at the rate of 50,000 cells per second. And the more and more you act on it, even though you don't feel good about it, but you work with the idea, you start to develop this change in vibration. But what is really happening is you're impregnating the cells with the characteristic or the idea. What we need to do is we need to constantly think about where we're going, what we want to do, and we start to increase our level of thinking by vibration, and we begin to attract thoughts of a like nature that'll move us in that direction.
Good advice right there.
Here are 5 things you didn't know about Paramahansa Yogananda's impossible abilities. First, he materialized physical objects from pure thought in front of Western scientists in 1920s America. Second, he practiced astral projection, consciously leaving his body for hours while staying fully aware. Third, he mastered bilocation, appearing in multiple locations simultaneously with dozens of witnesses. Fourth, he demonstrated breathless samadhi, stopping all bodily functions while remaining completely conscious. Fifth, he voluntarily stopped his heart for extended periods before returning to life. His preserved brain tissue is still studied today by neuroscientists, searching for clues about human potential. Here are 5 things you didn't know about Paramahansa Yogananda's impossible.
Sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah. Do you believe in the ice wall?
Stop. The fact that he had to pause right there, he's like, oh, I can't say what I saw.
He's not joking there.
No, he's not. He just got caught up. He forgot the cameras are rolling for a second. He's like, the God in my God.
That's what I was just thinking too. You think they're beyond that ice wall?
Have you ever been to Antarctica? Yeah. Do you believe in the ice wall?
He's like, well, there.
Hidden truth that feels illegal
Could be
to
one.
know. AT&T built a secret NSA spy room in their San Francisco building. In 2006, AT&T whistleblower Mark Klein exposed Room 641A, a secret NSA facility inside AT&T's Folsom Street building where fiber optic cables were split to copy all internet traffic. The room was staffed only by NSA-cleared personnel and contained powerful computers capable of analyzing millions of communications in real time. AT&T wasn't the only company. Similar rooms existed nationwide. Your internet traffic was being copied before it reached its destination. If that doesn't scare you, follow for more surveillance truths. Hidden truth that feels illegal to know. AT&T.
You lost the technology to get us to the moon.
Where did it go? They lost the tapes of the moon landing. What you watch when Neil Armstrong climbs off the LEM, One Small Step for Man, that was projected on a wall in NASA, and the networks were like, hey, can we just get the direct feed? Like, no, we're going to do it this way. Then they lost all those tapes, lost the telemetry. When asked, why don't we go back, NASA said, well, we can't replicate that technology. It's too difficult. NASA astronauts saying, oh, we think we found a way now that we can finally get past the Van Allen radiation belt. We already did that, man, didn't we? 17 times, but they lost it.
Unbelievable.
Russia was first to everything. Russia has Sputnik, first man-made satellite, man in orbit, first animal in orbit, first woman in orbit, first spacewalk. It's all first. And you can hear JFK saying, like, no matter how much money we throw at it, we're going to be second. And then suddenly, 1969, we surpassed all of the Soviets, and we landed
Space
on
was
the
made
moon.
in a Hollywood basement.
I don't buy it. Americans who don't believe that we went to the moon is rising every year. I hope I have nothing.
Stop praying like a beggar. That's why you're broke. That's why your plans fall apart. That's why the world ignores your voice. You kneel, you whisper, you plead, you call it prayer, but it is nothing more than spiritual hesitation clothed in soft language. You speak to infinite intelligence like a pauper who hopes for scraps, and then curse your results when nothing arrives. You call it surrender. I call it disobedience. You were not made to beg. You were made to command. You were not placed on this earth to mutter wishes and wait. You were not born to collapse in crisis and then look toward the sky hoping a miracle rescues you from the results of your own indecision. That is not how wealth is born. That is not how faith works. That is not prayer. That is drift. There is a law more ancient than any ritual. A law more powerful than any institution. A law that does not care how long you've suffered. A law that does not respond to tears, apologies, or your past mistakes. It answers one thing only: spiritual authority. This law asks you every day, do you think in order? Do you speak in command? Do you pray as one who believes the universe must move when you do?
It's
Because
good
if
stuff
your
right
answer
there.
is no, if you pray like a beggar, think like a doubter, and move like a man still seeking permission, you will attract nothing but confusion. You will build nothing but delays, and you will receive exactly what you expect: silence. But if you listen today,
Oopsie daisy.
Listen, if you a chosen one, them people you grew up around as a baby is not your fucking family. Those people are not your family at all. You might think that's your mom. You might think that's your dad. You might think that's your brother. Those are fucking agents that was placed around you since birth, my nigga, to literally take you
His
out.
parents are like,
Your soul's purpose.
we're not the agents.
How much power you hold within yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Saw the movie The Matrix for the first time.
Imagine if you was with your real soul tribe, right? That's too much power. They could never give you that much power, so they put you around a bunch of fucking agents, right? These people been watching your every move since you was a baby. Your family, right? They've been reporting to the government everything you've been doing since a baby. Everything you've been doing, they reported. Anything, any odd movements that you've been doing as a baby, you like to meditate, you like to sit in nature, they report that shit to the government. They are literal agents. These people are not your family. They not who you think they is.
Did you know that for 17 years, an elementary school principal was secretly one of the...
Yeah, right, this guy's doing a lot of drugs.
Harold Morrison was beloved by everyone in suburban Michigan. Parents trusted him completely with their children. Every morning, he delivered cheerful announcements over the intercom, organized parent conferences, and stayed late for school activities. But FBI surveillance records revealed a chilling truth. Morrison used school trips as cover to travel to hit locations across the Midwest. He stored weapons in his office safe, right next to student files and candy rewards. During parent-teacher conferences, he would step out to take business calls about his next target. For 17 years, he eliminated 23 people while maintaining perfect attendance at school board meetings. In 1994, he killed
That's
a
crazy.
Chicago mob informant using a poison method he learned from teaching chemistry class. The next Monday morning, he was back organizing the school science fair with a smile. When authorities finally arrested him, they discovered 12 other educators working as contract killers, the most trusted people in their community, hiding the darkest secrets. Did you know that for 17
That school
years,
is
an
safest
elementary
school.
principal was secretly
12 contract killers. Stretch Armstrong.
The illusion is that change takes time. The truth is, change happens the moment you decide.
Yeah, Breaking Bad, right? He was a school teacher, and then he turned to a drug kingpin. They weren't contract killers at the school, though.
Question is, which one will you
Say my name.
One decision,
Heisenberg?
gentle pivot, and the entire path unfolds differently. Don't underestimate how powerful one moment of clarity can be. The universe responds the second you align. So, if you're wondering what to do, just listen. The version of you who already chose is calling you home. The illusion.
It's like you're living pretty well on a teacher's salary. How are you getting so much money? It's like Naruto. Super Cat.
The moon is the reflect of the earth.
Yeah. Let's look at this real world.
Can you imagine being a young, broke American and being a member of our school and being offered a bank account with a credit card with $1,000?
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
The moon is the reflect of the earth.
So does anyone believe in portals and in the possibility of traveling to different worlds or even different dimensions through portals?
No, that was like from Doctor Strange. Cap.
A portal just opened in Alabama, and I have it on video. You can see the snow was falling, but this isn't snow, it isn't smoke, it isn't. There's some snow in there, but this is.
But you got it on video. A video of a video?
This man used a Bluetooth speaker to open a portal.
Watch this. There's a speaker, right? This portal starts opening up from above it.
And already you can see a much more...
Whoa. You can
when it goes through
Cap.
here.
The largest portal in the world. And there it is.
There it is.
Right before your eyes.
There it is.
And we are on our way to this portal. Oh.
You were born in 9th century Norway. Congratulations. Your mom almost died giving birth to you. And your wife left the moment you started crying. And you don't just cry. You're screaming and throwing tiny fists like you already smelled blood. Your mom? She doesn't cradle you. She flinches. Because even as a baby, there's something off about you. Your dad? Oh, he's off raiding Frankia. Because being a Viking and not sailing off to pillage every fall, that's like skipping leg day. Disgraceful. Fast forward. You're 5. Instead of finger painting or whatever kids do now, you're helping your mom chop firewood. For fun, you headbutt trees and bite goats. By 8, you're starting to wonder why no one talks about your dad. Then you remember that one time your mom cried for weeks. Back then, you were too young to get it. Now you do. He's dead. You feel sad, but you don't cry. You're a Viking, kiddo. Crying? Not on the list of approved emotions. You're getting older now, and you're starting to notice something kind of alarming. When you get mad, it's not just grr mad, it's murderous mad. You've torn chickens apart with your teeth, buried an axe in your neighbor's leg just because he looked at your wooden sword funny. He survived, barely, and honestly, that guy got off easy compared to what you've done to others. So now your mom's full-time job? Trying to keep you from becoming a one-kid apocalypse. You want to stop. You do. But something deep inside you just really enjoys leaving people with life-threatening injuries to anyone who breathes wrong. Your days are packed with chores, chopping wood, hauling water, pretending not to be a violent health benefits. By the time you're 12, you're bigger than most grown men, and about 6 mental breakdowns away from becoming a full-time forest cryptid. The village has had enough, so they send you off to live with the warriors, which is really just Viking speak for, please take this feral child before he eats another baby goat. You get dumped into a group of older berserkers. These guys, terrifying. They don't smile. They don't speak. They hit like falling trees. So yeah, maybe don't mess up if you'd like to keep your spine connected. You start learning the ways of the axe. Simple enough. You swing it. You chop stuff. You look cool. But then sparring begins, and suddenly nothing's cool anymore. They throw you in the ring with 2 full...
Did you notice how Triple H pulled something out? No wonder he wanted to choke Trump. Triple H recently attended a meeting involving Trump, but he was nearly suffocated. Triple H kept gasping for air to recover, and some speculated he might have picked up Trump's distinct scent, as he even tried to reach for a handkerchief to cover his mouth and nose. What do you think? Not only that, during the bill signing, he hid in the back to avoid being assaulted by Trump's scent, even refusing to come forward.
I hear that, but
JDV called him.
I don't know.
The other staff members
Do you think he has bad
were
breath
the
for real?
biggest victims. Some were sweating profusely from the odor, and some even wanted to hit Trump. According to sources, Trump didn't shower before the meeting and had played golf that morning, leaving him reeking of stench. Triple H, on the other hand, drank a lot of water after the meeting. He said this made him feel better. In fact, even Melania Trump rarely interacted with Trump, even fleeing the scene when hugged. According to reports, Trump and Melania's marriage is...
I tossed a cigarette butt, and to my surprise, the grass around it just avoided.
Consequences for the shape of Earth. According to Newtonian physics, Earth appears spherical from within the observable sphere. However, the existence of hidden layers...
I like Vikings. Viking stuff is pretty cool.
Energy where it produces a multi-dimensional curvature. that defines regular measurements and the Earth
His orange tan spray, yeah, right. I've seen it on different viewings. Some people just turn the orange up on the camera, depending on I guess where you're watching him from. He's oranger than others.
This suggests that the metaphysical layers exist in quote-unquote folded manner, finding conventional detection in toroidal, stationary, and flat positioning, which indicates Earth's plane is infinite. Well, here we go. We're going to continue.
Like Minecraft, it's infinite. Like Minecraft.
Down below to move the algorithm.
I don't know about all that.
And share this with all
Good luck, buddy.
Geocentrists. Much love, guys. Okay. United States Central Intelligence Agency classified document. Department of Special Projects.
I guess it is the document. Let's see what the document says.
The report subject: the joint analysis of multinational expeditions and their failures. Between blank, 4 nations initiated independent expeditions to a newly discovered continent beyond the ice wall. These missions aimed to establish contact with local entities, exploit abundant resources, and secure strategic footholds.
See how it has targeted location completely blacked out?
Ended in catastrophic failure. Analysis indicates the region's extreme hostility caused by the environmental anomalies, indigenous resistance, and metaphysical top-of-atmosphere disruptions rendered colonization and sustained contact impossible. Down below, you'll see that it lists the 4 nations and the expedition name that they titled them, the year that these expeditions took place, which was redacted, along with the targeted location. It shows what their objective was, the desired intention for resource or artifacts, their purpose, and they gave the survivors' death rate. Apparently, this was a failure in all 4 cases. Now, I've never heard of these expeditions or these operations, but as you can see, some of it has been redacted along with the targeted location, like I said. So hopefully some of you guys can look further into these expeditions and maybe find more information, and I would love to hear what you guys come up with. The United States Operation Titan Blank. The objective was to establish forward base and secure artifacts, which was crystals, and the purpose indicate it as a mix of sophisticated engineering with mystical.
That's why they put Superman's fortress in Antarctica.
Of the aetherial
He could have been
crystalline and translucent, having a very
outside
smooth
the
texture
wall or whatever.
and is decidedly cold to the touch. Although it resembles a form of Etherium quartz for most intents and purposes, this is entirely different from Etherium quartz. The inner mechanism appears spherical from within the observable sphere. However, the existence of hidden layers is made possible by the energy where it produces a multidimensional curvature that defines regular measurements and does not conflict with known planetary research. Theosophical consequences maintaining conventional physics. The mechanics of the observable sphere are aided in optics governing scientific coherence for the fundamental radiance of humanity. The Earth is larger and more complicated than is visible due to the evidence of hidden dimensional layers. The ice wall's function. The ice wall serves as an energetic membrane in addition to a physical barrier and designates the point at which the hidden dimensions are obscured by energy. This membrane prevents conventional investigations since it needs certain conditions to penetrate. Consequences between geophysics and metaphysics. This suggests that the metaphysical layers exist in quote-unquote folded manner, finding conventional detection in toroidal, stationary, and
I don't
positions,
understand.
which indicates Earth's plane is in.
Here are times rappers lied in their music. Everyone knows Lil Tecca is the king of rap cats.
I got 2 twin Glocks. I don't have.
You've said that the devil runs Hollywood.
I did say that.
Yes. You still believe it?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Didn't we just have Christmas?
Yes.
What were the films that premiered for Christmas? Name the titles you can think of now.
Let me see. There was Carry On.
Right.
which had a Christmas backdrop to it.
Right.
But I can't really think of any actual
And
Christmas
then you
films.
had Nicole Kidman's film came out.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah. With Baby Girl, I think it's called.
Okay, yeah, I
Not
missed
a
that
Christmas movie.
No.
It's not a Christmas
No,
movie.
you're not really seeing Christmas movies right
You're
now.
not really seeing... And then
There's no
Nostradamus,
Grinch,
what is that?
there's no,
Nostradamus, whatever.
yeah.
I can't even...
Hi, how you doing? Muhammad Ali. You're Muhammad Ali?
Junior.
Really?
Yeah.
The son of Muhammad Ali in my store?
You had to sell this.
Are you kidding?
Huh. And the boxing gloves. That was actually used for sparring with Joe Frazier. The robe is actually the one he wore in the picture.
Holy mackerel. So, is your last name the same?
Yes. You want to see a birth certificate?
I would really like to see that. I'm freaked out. I'm telling you, I am freaked out. Because I remember when they fought. So tell me the story.
Well, the robe was actually given to a lady. Her father
That's pretty cool, though.
got it from Al Davis. Al Davis actually got it from my father as a retirement gift.
So your dad gave this as a gift to somebody. So this is the one
This is the robe that he had took a picture in.
So how much did you want for this?
$2,500.
That's it?
Okay, so these gloves, how do I know that he wore them?
My mother told me, because she was there.
He said, she said, because they said. You know, that's hard for me to tell a customer.
Right.
What would you really take for this?
$700.
If
what?
he signed it and you had a picture of him signing it, way cool. If we're going to make a deal right now, you can't go a penny less than...
Take $600 for it.
I've never recovered from finding out that the food pyramid was a scam.
Yeah.
That's just the degree to which that's a scam is, I don't know. Is there a worse medical crime in history than that?
No, I mean, telling Americans to load up on 7 to 11 servings of grains every single day.
Yeah.
Like,
and to find out that that was a marketing ploy by the Department of Agriculture and that they went against the advice even of their own consultants who warned them that they would produce an epidemic of obesity and diabetes, to say nothing of depression and dementia, which is exactly what we have now. Yeah. I've never recovered from finding out that the food pyramid was a scam.
Crazy.
That's just
you have those two options.
obviously.
This mom cuts the head and the tail off a fish before cooking it.
What a waste.
Her daughter asks,
"Why do you do this?"
The mom says,
"Because my mom did it that way."
So the daughter...
This machine that can do this, that can manipulate time,
Next.
and they are going forward in time and manipulating the timeline. Who is doing this?
I hope Lockheed isn't doing it. No, I wasn't trying to suggest that they are.
Well, who? How do you know that this timeline is being manipulated? How do you know that? And who do you think is doing it?
There is a researcher, Michael Cremo, who wrote a book with a guy called Richard Thompson. Thompson's a PhD in, I forget which scientific field. The book was called Forbidden Archaeology. It's a tome. It's about this thick. It's in the same general area, same general vein of research as Graham Hancock and Robert Bauval and Robert Schoch, people who study deep history, prehistory, archaeological remains from prehistory that challenge our accepted views of the historical timeline, right? Except Cremo and Thompson's work in Forbidden Archaeology is more radical insofar as they go through the history of scientific journals back into the 1800s, and they show how many discoveries there were, reported by very prestigious publications, of clearly engineered structures and artificial objects stuck in geological strata that are millions of years old. Like polished concrete walls in a stratum that dates to, 200 million years ago. Or gold chains, jewelry that's at a geological stratum of 60 million years ago. There are tens and tens of these discoveries that they present in this book that were in prominent scientific journals, and then slowly in the 20th century were filtered out of what it was acceptable to publish, given what became the standard human history. taught in the academies. So there are a couple of different ways you could look at that. One, subscribe to a form of Vedic religion. And in the, in the Hindu religion, there is the notion that there are these vast cycles of time. They call them yugas, the ages, right? And we're in the last of them now, supposedly the Kali Yuga. But the whole cycle begins with the Satya Yuga, the golden age, and then it goes to a silver age. And the Greeks had the same thing, silver age, bronze age, until you get to our present time, which is supposed to be the last of the world ages. And this whole cycle then repeats itself. So Cremo and Thompson come from the school of thought that, look, humanity has always existed, and we are living in a fallen world. We're living in a degraded age, and we've lost our knowledge of previous ages of higher civilization. And they think this goes way, way back, like that humanity existed in its present form tens and tens of millions of years ago. I don't agree with their interpretation of their own evidence. I think that that's a religious belief system, which they subscribe to. And my much more radically empiricist, pragmatic approach to the data they're presenting is to say the best way to make sense out of this is that